Hey, it's me, Althazar, and welcome to another Magic Puzzle Quest video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the first new Planeswalker from the Duskmourn set, Kaito, Bane of Nightmares. So, let's get into it. I want to start this by thanking Webcore for sending me this Planeswalker so I could test it out and make this video for you guys. Thank you for your continued support of my channel. This review on Kaito is going to be a little bit shorter than my average review for Planeswalkers, so I'm just previewing this in advance. Kaito Bane of Nightmares is a new blue-black Planeswalker. You've got the typical 3 abilities, no passives, and a very sweet +5/+5/+2 mana bonus set, with the +5s being to blue and black, and the +2 being to red. Kaito's 3 abilities are all going to center around this creepy ninja token. This little ninja token is created with every activation of any of Kaito's abilities. The first ability, the second ability, and the third ability all are going to make one of these tokens. And this little token is a 1/1 with hexproof. It's legendary, and it has, when this creature deals combat damage to your opponent's Planeswalker, if it has 1 or more reinforcements, you're going to gain 2 loyalty. Then if it has 4 or more reinforcements, the base power toughness of this thing is going to become 3/4. As you can see, each activation of Kaito's ability is only going to give you 1 of these tokens, meaning that even if you were to just use the first ability to get to the threshold of 4 tokens is going to cost you 36 loyalty. And 36 loyalty to get 4 3/4s for a 12/16 really isn't a great value proposition. Same for the second ability. If you had to use that 4 times, that would be 60 loyalty, and the third ability would be a whopping 84 loyalty to get 4 of those tokens. So you really need to get a heck of a lot more out of the abilities if you really want to get anything out of them, because the token itself is just kind of an added bonus. The 2 loyalty that you gain for having 2 reinforced tokens just isn't enough to cover the cost of the loyalty of this thing's abilities. Kaito's first and second abilities are actually phenomenal abilities. The only problem is that they cost 9 and 15 loyalty respectively. I think, on the whole, this would be a totally different review if all of Kaito's loyalty costs went down by a significant amount. As they are right now, all 3 abilities are bad abilities. They just cost too much for what they do. The first ability, ignoring the cost, is a phenomenal ability. If this was, say, 6 loyalty, this would be an incredible Planeswalker, and I would say there would be a lot of reason to pick this thing up. Surveil 3 lets you filter your deck, and then drawing a card after surveilling means that you kind of just get to control what card you draw, which is really cool. The second ability, destroying target opposing creature and giving the first card in your hand 6 mana, is a phenomenal ability. But at 15 loyalty, that's a bit expensive. The third ability is really in contention for the worst third ability in the game. Your creatures get a permanent +2/+2, gain unblockable. Your opponent's creatures are stunned, meaning they're disabled for 1 turn, and then you're going to create one of the Kaito Shadow Clone tokens. For 21 loyalty, honestly, that's maybe the worst use of loyalty in this game. I don't know. I'd really have to look through all the other Planeswalkers. I'm sure there are others that'll give it a run for its money, but this ability is pretty bad. Honestly, I would never use it for, any reason. Unfortunately, there just isn't a ton that you can do with Kaito that you can't do with other Planeswalkers. Honestly, using Dakon is just better than Kaito. The first ability on Dakon is better than Kaito's first ability. The second ability on Dakon is better than Kaito's second ability, and the third ability on Dakon is better than Kaito's third ability. And you get that whopping bonus of having another color in the kit. So, yeah, really not a great one here. I tried running Pauper decks, I tried running Pauper Plus decks with Kaito, and the best time that I got for a Pauper deck was about 12 minutes for a match. It's just the Shadow Clone tokens don't do a ton, and so you need to rely on the power of your cards. You can make powerful decks with Kaito. The thing is that those powerful decks are because of the cards in them. I can't tell you how many times I had a match end as I got to 9 loyalty. and so there just was no point in me using any of Kaito's abilities. For that matter, with my testing with Kaito, there was not a single match in which I was able to get the Kaito Shadow Clone tokens down and reinforced 4 times, and then attack, do their damage, get the base power bonus shift, and then have them attack again the following turn. By that point, the games were just over, and I never got to see them do that increased amount of damage for the base power toughness shift. The only games where I got to see that in were games in which I was only using commons and uncommons. And keep in mind, in my gameplay testing, I was using Knowledge is Power, because that causes you to reinforce your creatures every time you draw a card, and I thought that those reinforcements would do well with the Kaito Shadow Clone tokens. That was not the case. Furthermore, we really don't have any good options in blue and black for double strike, which would actually be interesting on these tokens, given that they have, when they deal combat damage to the opponent's planeswalker, they could gain loyalty, which would increase your loyalty gain to 4 per turn, and that would really cut down the amount of loyalty that you would need for these abilities, but that just isn't a thing in blue and black right now. So I felt like building around Kaito was fairly restrictive. You were just looking for what would be the best deck for a blue-black planeswalker, and not really taking into account Kaito's abilities, because you're really not going to be able to use them very much. With that, I'm going to go ahead and showcase some gameplay and then give you my conclusion, but I have a feeling that based on this part of the review, you know what my conclusion on Kaito is. Let's see how Kaito works out in a real match. We're up against Brokon. Brokon is fine. Starting hand-wise, this is actually pretty decent. Mana Crypt in any starting hand is a good thing. A 5 match is always a good thing, but those aren't really great colors for Kaito. I think that red is actually okay, but red's a +2. Yeah, but the other green stuff is kind of neutral. Actually, it's not neutral, it's bad, but that's okay. We're going to take the blue match over the black match, since blue is good for Brokon and black is bad for Brokon. Ideally, we get rid of the good matches from my opponent, so that there's only good matches for us. I've got Lock and Load, and now here we can use Kaito's first ability. This is really the only good ability that Kaito has. The second ability is good too, it's just all the abilities are overcosted. Nonetheless, being able to control what you draw is certainly pretty useful. So here what I'm going to do is, I'm actually just going to get rid of, I might just get rid of everything here. I do want the Volt Strider, so I'm going to let myself draw into the Volt Strider, and then I'm actually going to go ahead and cast that over the Lock and Load this turn. Volt Strider is just such an overwhelmingly good card. It gives us so much free tempo, and then just having both the Volt Strider and the Mana Crypt down at the same time it's just going to be really, really good stuff. So we're going to get full mana for free to Lock and Load, and then we're going to look and see if there's a way that we can Rush of Dread, or actually Rakdos would be better here. So the Mana Crypt at the bottom doesn't have anything that I can do to get the free mana field out of it, which is unfortunate, but okay. So here, in terms of matches, I think I'm actually going to take the black swap and hope that I get some kind of Cascade. So we'll see. If I get a Cascade, I get Rakdos. I don't. That's fine. I still get 2 free cards. We'll see what those 2 free cards are going to be. Breach the Multiverse and Legion of Ashes. Perfect. So Breach the Multiverse is going to come down, and then I'm actually going to take the Phenomenon Investigators here, since Hugs is going to die to my spell, and then I get a Lock and Load. Perfect. I get a free card here. Ooh, Lumra or Ren? Ren creates a whole bunch of forest tokens. I feel like that would be kind of fun, but I'm going to go Lumra. I don't have any lands in the deck, but I am trying to specifically convert non-green gems, so that will probably work out pretty well for me. And then getting 2 Volt Striders. Okay, so here we've actually got quite a bit of power, namely from the Volt Striders, and those are going to be pumping everything up. They're going to make it so that we can take out my opponent fairly quickly, probably. My opponent dropping the Lumra is actually kind of a good thing for me, oddly, because that is going to get stolen by the Aegis. So here, I really want Knowledge is Power. Can I get Knowledge is Power down? Yes, I can. Okay, Knowledge is Power. Gosh, it's kind of unfortunate having that Kaito token down as compared to something else like Rakdos, which would actually get power from the Knowledge's Power cards that we're about to draw, because we're about to draw 4 cards, which will reinforce all of my creatures 4 times. And you'll see here that the Kaito token is going to start getting its reinforcements, and this will actually get it to the requisite reinforcements this turn for it to change its base power toughness. So you're going to see when the Kaito token deals damage, that the Kaito token is going to have its base power toughness shift. However, you'll also notice that the game ends before that actually does anything. In my conclusion for this video, you can pick up Kaito for $30 US right now. He's in the vault. You can also wait for Kaito to enter the vault for mana crystals. You'd wait a few weeks, you could pick him up. If you pick him up for $30, you're going to get mana jewels, you're going to get mana crystals. If you're VIP, you'll get additional jewels, and you'll get 3 booster packs of the current set. My own personal recommendation is to skip Kaito Bane of Nightmares. I would not recommend that you pick up Kaito Bane of Nightmares for money, and I also would not recommend that you pick up Kaito Bane of Nightmares for the mana crystals. This is a pretty bottom tier Planeswalker for me, just because there isn't a lot that you can do with it. I feel like we've gotten a lot of really cool Planeswalkers in this game lately. There have been some that have really pushed the boundaries of the meta, things like Grist. This one just doesn't hit the mark. So with that, let me know if you've picked up Kaito. Let me know if you're planning to pick up Kaito. Let me know if you think that I've just been way too harsh on this guy. I don't know. Maybe I have. Maybe it'll be one of those Planeswalkers that I'll play some more down the line, and then I'll be like, you know what, this was actually kind of cool. Honestly, I really doubt it. If the developers would ever consider going ahead and changing the loyalty costs for this thing, I think that he would actually be a really solid Planeswalker. That's my final take on Kaito Bane of Nightmares. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.